Have you ever felt like your voice doesn't matter? That no one will listen to you? Or that your ideas are too small? What if I told you that your voice is the key to your success? Every day, we hide parts of ourselves, our dreams, our opinions, our truths, because we fear judgment. But here's the truth. The world can't hear you if you don't speak up. What if the power to change your life was right there, inside of you? All you had to do was stop hiding it. This is the story of Sarah, a young woman who learned the power of her own voice. Sarah was a 24-year-old woman with dreams too big for her quiet life. She worked hard every day, always aiming for more. But there was one problem. She was afraid to speak up. In meetings, Sarah kept her thoughts to herself, too scared of what others might think. She watched others shine, but remained silent, feeling invisible. One day, she thought, I'll be confident enough to share my ideas. But every day, she hid a little more. Sarah believed in her dreams, but she didn't believe her voice was enough to make them real. And so, her silence grew heavier, blocking her path forward. Sarah knew she had so much to offer, but fear held her back. The chances she missed, those moments when she stayed quiet instead of sharing her thoughts, haunted her. She thought of all the times she could have spoken up, but didn't. Each time, she promised herself she would do better next time. But that next time never came. The more Sarah stayed silent, the smaller she felt. She began to believe that maybe she wasn't meant to be heard. She questioned herself. Maybe I'm not good enough. But deep down, she knew this fear was the only thing standing between her and the life she dreamed of. One evening, Sarah sat with her mother, a woman full of wisdom and strength. Sarah shared her feelings of doubt and fear, telling her how she struggled to speak up. Her mother listened carefully, then placed her hand gently on Sarah's. "My dear," she said, "your voice is your gift. It doesn't matter if they listen at first. What matters is that you speak. The world can't hear you if you don't use your voice." Sarah's mother's words struck her heart. It wasn't about being perfect or having the right answers. It was about having the courage to be heard, no matter what. For the first time, Sarah realized that silence wasn't protecting her. It was holding her back. The next day, Sarah decided to make a change. She couldn't keep living in fear. She began with small steps, sharing her thoughts in conversations with friends, voicing her opinions in meetings, and not backing down. Each time her heart raced with fear, she reminded herself, I am allowed to be heard. The more she spoke, the more confident she became. It wasn't easy, but with each small victory, Sarah felt stronger. Her voice no longer felt like a burden. It felt like a gift. Slowly, she realized that the only thing stopping her from being heard was her own hesitation. The real test came when Sarah had to speak in front of a large group. Her heart raced, and her hands trembled. The fear threatened to overwhelm her. But then, she remembered her mother's words, "Your voice is your gift." With a deep breath, Sarah stood up, opened her mouth, and spoke. The room fell silent. But not in judgment. No, it was in attention. For the first time, Sarah felt the power of her words. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't easy, and it was hers. And that made all the difference. She had done it. She had used her voice, and the world was listening. From that day on, Sarah never hid her voice again. She realized that every moment she spent in silence, she was letting fear control her life. The more she spoke, the more she realized that her voice wasn't just for her, it was for the world. She had something valuable to say, and she was finally ready to say it. I used to be afraid, Sarah thought, but now, I know that the key to success is in speaking up. Your voice is your power. Don't hide it. The world is waiting to hear what you have to say. So what will you say today? Will you hide? Or will you speak up?